Okay, so I want to remind everyone of the City of Perry staff's core values. It's a strong work ethic, problem solving, community oriented, shows professionalism and integrity. It's a team player, it's accountable, and is a good steward. Could I have roll call, please?
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling.
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, next up, we need approval of the meeting agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Walling.
Yes.
Mahler.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, on to the consent agenda. Consists of minutes of the June 30th regular city council meeting, 4 payments for contract services, 3 to Bolton and Mank, 1 to Eocene Environmental Group, Inc. for $61,698.16. Claims register and financials of $495,742.36. And a couple of licenses and permits, 1 to Wine Time LLC, also known as Perry Regbry, for Second in Lucinda. And this was approved earlier, but we will make it official tonight. And then a retail alcohol or retail tobacco permit for our Smoke Plus 528 First Avenue. Have a motion, please.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
And I'll second that.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling. Yes.
And now we'll turn it over to Sven for city administrator report.
All right, thank you. So want to talk mostly about construction projects since we last met in June. I think the following week we had our pre-construction meeting for Sumas Avenue. The week after that, they got started out there. So Sumas Avenue is closed right now for construction. They've started doing a lot of grading work, and I think, did they say Wednesday they're going to start doing some stripping of the gravel surface on the roadway. So then it'll really be closed and really look like it's under construction. I think they're about 2 weeks out from getting started on starting the underground work with sewer and water coming up from the intersection. So far it's on schedule, I think. Right, Jacob? So excited for that to be going and have that project under construction. Downtown, if you haven't seen, 2nd Street is open for a week. The contractor did put down asphalt through the intersection for Ragbri coming through tomorrow. And then that will stay in place through Friday for the street dance. And then next Monday, they will come in and remove that asphalt and continue, which I think everything is pretty much ready for them to form up for the rest of Warford and for the intersection, do their final touches on things and get that section open, as well as moving on to the other phases of the project. So we're happy that we found a way to get it open in some fashion for Ragbri, but yeah, that's my 2 major things.
Fences up south of the Tin Pigs. Off into,
They did.
On the south edge
yeah,
or the
south edge of the sidewalk.
The west.
West and south
Believe.
are
Pretty covered. Yep.
they were also working, was that today? They were working over there
I
today.
was over there this, it was like the gap about that big for. Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah, so I believe where you're talking about, when they were digging the sub drain, they had fallen down a little bit, so they were gonna prop them back up, so that way they were intact there.
Good.
So it was discussed here in our progress meeting.
Good.
And then TK Concrete will have somebody on site throughout the day tomorrow, just making sure that fences stay up and things are kept up properly. So.
While we're on the subject, we've got Jake right here. What's do we have a time frame for that opening of Second and Warford? Is there anything that you would feel comfortable saying that maybe by?
So during, right before the progress meeting, we asked for a detailed schedule. That way we can talk through that with funding partners, because there is grant funds tied to this. and really honing in on where are we at, where do we get to, and what that next steps as far as staging go. Obviously, the discussions, the city's input and flexibility for RAGBRAI and everything else, we want to keep in the forefront of that discussion, but we have asked for a detailed schedule that we can really pull apart, understand, and accept. Think about the right word.
I know that there's a lot of downtown businesses that are very anxious to get that open, myself included.
Same with City Hall and our engineering partners. It's hard to say exactly since we did move the schedule around trying to get stuff done for RAGBRAI, but there's significant work to be done.
The downside of stages make things last longer. Without stages, they can rip it and rip it, but obviously the stages are to keep as much parking as possible, flexibility and access to the businesses. So it's a balance. Every project is, unfortunately.
It's gonna look great when it's done.
Airport has an item. I don't know if Garrett is on, but airport project is coming along. I know they've done some paving out there, so looking to get that first phase done and then move on to the second and third phase. So.
Thank you, Sven. Okay, we'll move on to mayor council comments. The first thing we're going to do is swear in a new Perry police officer, Officer Nechempasek. So step up to the microphone. Yeah. Okay, so you raise your right hand and you repeat after me, please. I state your name,
I, Asia Nachbasak,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I will support
or affirm that I will support
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and the Constitution of the State of Iowa,
and I will faithfully and impartially,
and that I will faithfully and impartially,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge all the duties of the office of the Perry Police Department in Perry, Iowa,
discharge all the duties of the office of the Perry Police Department in Perry, Iowa,
as now or hereafter required by law.
as now or hereafter required by law.
Good folks.
There's a whole meeting just walking around.
Walking around. I can do that. Have to tell some jokes then or something.
Barb, she said, just call her Asian. Huh? She says, just call her Asian. Ah, Asian.
Okay, so I got a couple things I wanted to bring up. First one, as everybody knows, RAGBRAI is coming through tomorrow. So as early as 7 o'clock, they're expecting some bikes. And between 11 and 3 is going to be the majority of the time. We're supposed to close everything up at 3, but invariably there'll be some stragglers going through at 4 or 5. So just ask everybody in town to really be cognizant that they're coming through. They're trying to have a good time. They think that they own the road. So just be extra careful and give them a little extra leeway as they're passing through town. Make sure they have a good time. There is the block party Friday night. Toaster is playing on 2nd Street. The 2nd Street will be closed again on Friday. That should be a good time. We're hoping everybody will come out. It's supposed to be much cooler, so we won't be sweating, which might affect the beer sales, Jeremy, but maybe not. So, and then just remind all Perry residents that we need to support our local businesses, and the chamber has a little thing going on now where they have Perry passports. You get a book, you get stamps in it when you go to different businesses. And if you fill the book up, then you put it in, and they're giving out some nice prizes when you end of August, I think, when they filled out. And you can fill out as many as you you have time to do between now and the end of August. So please support your Perry businesses and have a little fun doing it. So anybody else on council have anything they'd like to?
Yeah, I want to recognize and thank all of the people, including the chamber, the volunteers, the many other people who were part of making tomorrow happen. I know it's not easy, it takes a lot of work, and I think it's gonna be a great day for Perry, showcasing what we have, bringing some money to town, so that'll be super. And I'm so glad it's tomorrow instead of today with the weather.
Yes.
Anything else?
I've got a thing that I want to talk about real quick, and I'm sure that everybody here is aware of it. We've talked about it before, with these electric vehicles that are on the road. I don't know if we maybe need to have a safety meeting about it. I know that I've seen a ton of unsafe stuff, and I would hate for something to happen to a young person. I was even thinking maybe a registration or a class, a safety class, like a moped class, something like that, that we could do possibly. I just, it feels like a free for all out there, and anybody can go on Amazon and buy these things, and they're making them faster and faster. And I've seen so many unsafe situations this summer that it makes me nervous, and I would like to put a pin in somewhere and have some time to talk about that, about what we should do or could do maybe as a city to prevent something bad happening in the future.
I've really think about it. I know some communities not too far away, I think, have put ordinances in place. There are some model ordinances.
We mayors from the area have been sharing those as they're going through different phases. So Chief Archer has a copy of one. He's been looking at it and reviewing. We were kind of hoping that maybe the state legislature would come in and just make a statewide thing. So each city doesn't have their own rules that are different so you never know what it's going to be, but that doesn't seem like they want to grasp onto that. But yeah, we agree. And again, some sort of just
It would be
kids
good
are having
if
fun.
if
They just don't know the rules of the road and
Yeah,
before something gets.
I understand it's not easy, and it's probably a little bit touchy on both sides from the safety and from the rider's perspective. But I think that maybe it would behoove us to get in front of it.
And
Well,
so many of them
yeah.
are young,
Yes.
Very young
very young.
and ignoring every stop sign, every yield sign,
Right, but
everything.
so I think that they're so young. These are people that don't have any driver's ed, or they don't have
Yeah.
any driving education. They don't have any sign education. So I think that maybe that's something that we need to think about.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get that out there. I've seen a lot of it lately, and it's scary.
Again, one of the communities that does have one in effect, there was putting one in Waukee. The police did pull one of the kids over for not stopping at a sign. And they said, "Why didn't you stop?" And they said, "Well, my parents never do." So it's so again,
Oh my gosh.
we need people to be good examples and
Yeah, again, I don't know if it's safety classes or registration of some sort, something, because it seems like the wild, wild west out there with these electric
Yes.
things.
You'll get 3 of them going. And they're not all together, they're,
Well, they double up too.
Just my thoughts. I think
Yep.
we should
Thank
try to
you.
do something.
In the meantime, we all need to be vigilant. Not to put it out there.
now we'll move on to open forum. Speakers will be asked to step to the microphone, state their name and address for the record, and you'll be given 3 minutes to address the council. So any open forum requests? Want to talk about your petition or?
Thank you. Nick Akins, 913 Willis, apartment 307 here in town. And, I'm circulating a petition concerning continuing funding, or at least running into negotiations and consultation with HRTA, not necessarily to meet their absolute demands, but at least to start bargaining in good faith. And I'm glad that people have had an open mind here. I'm not one to take a plank and slap that horse on the backside, but as this concerns me, I will put a burr under the saddle. So, but I do know that there HRTA on Mondays and Fridays, they're going crazy, and the clinic here, the Dallas County Clinic, is going nuts because everyone wants to schedule on Monday and Friday now. And now I will own up to it because I didn't contact HRTA fast enough this last week. But I wanted to go to Waukee today, but no, they couldn't schedule me. Why? Because they're already too busy taking care of Perry today. So I'm going to be all right. I don't need any, but I just let you know there's people that this could possibly really, really hurt. People might be missing their medical checkup. So, but I have the petition here. Later on, if anyone wants to read it or sign it, I'm not gonna pound everything out here real quick because I like everybody and I want to get along. But later on after the meeting, if you want to read it, that'll be fine.
How many
Thank
do
you.
you got signatures now?
Yeah, I've got a few dozen signatures here now. I would say I would have not quite 50. I'd have more, but I was out of circulation this weekend. I wasn't feeling good. Yeah, I need to get my treatment. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Anybody else? Okay, then we'll move on to the special presentation on K-9 unit update from the Perry Police Department.
All right. So kind of building on the original time that I was here and kind of let you guys know about this. Our flyer here has changed up a little bit. I wanted to give basically any person or business or anybody that's willing to help or donate or anything like that. I wanted to show them the actual dog that we're getting. So this is the Dutch Shepherd that we're looking to purchase. He is currently in Minnesota. He'll be 2 here pretty quick. So we're looking at a lifespan as far as like being on the force, hopefully anywhere from like 6 to 8 years. Just depending on his overall health and how he does, all that good stuff. So just like that, our mission is basically to bring him here. We want to protect officers, reduce crime here in town, and better serve citizens here in Perry. So next one there. The gentleman that you see here, his name is Trace Erickson. He runs Code Blue K-9 LLC in Minnesota. He is the lead trainer, owner of that business, and that is our dog Groot sitting next to him. So why we need it is definitely drug interdiction, officer safety, tracking fleeing suspects, missing endangered persons, building searches, evidence recovery. We want to promote working relationships within our departments, with other departments here close to us. Right now, we rely heavily on Boone County, Guthrie County, Dallas County, stuff like that have canines. We have a DPS officer as well. And then there's also a bunch of certified training opportunities for little to zero cost within our city as well. So we could actually put on trainings.
And just to add that, so the courts have come down really hard on dog handlers. So when it comes to like extending stops and that sort of thing, so the days of us like hauling a dog from Guthrie Center, wherever, and being able to wait like 20 minutes here, those days are gone. So unless we have something that we can extend that stop, it really is important to have that tool right here, ready to go. Otherwise, we can't use it. And dogs are a real good tool, but the courts have made it very clear how and when we can use those dogs. So another reason why it'd be important to have.
Yep. if you go back to that one, just going over like the program capabilities. Just for our patrol unit itself, tracking is a big thing. So the dog that we're looking at purchasing, he is what we call a dual purpose dog. So he'll be trained in narcotics detection and human tracking. So he'll be able to track anything as far as fleeing suspects, missing persons, evidence, if somebody throws something out the window, anything like that. Building searches, it'll help if there's a really small, narrow area or somewhere where we just don't know if we want to go in, we can send that dog to keep officers safe. Apprehension, it's a natural deterrent. People see a canine and they immediately, I mean, we did a case study in this presentation. I'll kind of go over that it is a natural deterrent that people, when they see a canine, that it will cut down on officer injuries, officer safety, all that good stuff. So it'll lower our use of force numbers, lower amount of foot pursuits, lower risk of officer injury. And then detection, narcotics are going to be a big thing. Just this past year, 2 years, we've pulled more narcotics and guns off the street than we have in the 6 years that I've been here. Vehicles, being able to search cars, trucks, vans, semis, motorhomes, you name it. And then if we are granted any search warrants for residential or commercial, the dog will help with that as well. So like Chief Archer had mentioned, our current operational gap, currently we rely on neighboring agencies for canine assistance. So that obviously will increase our response times and it reduces operational effectiveness. Having our own canine will drastically decrease response time. If we need it, I think end to end of the city going speed limit, we can get there anywhere from like 6 to 10 minutes. Current response time for canine averages, and that's if they're close, is about 25 minutes. So thus causing issues just like Chief Archer talked about with length of the traffic stop, and then potential, obviously we can cut down on some overtime, save the city some money, and then case law issues as well. With our own canine, it would drop to, like I said, a 3 to 6 minutes response time if they're on duty, and then more opportunities to remove contraband from the street. So I kind of wanted to put this in here. This is some stats and everything that I was referring to. So Trooper Wonders is a ISP. He's a state patrol officer that currently resides in a Dell. He has a canine. He has deployed his canine over 80 times for the order of narcotics. He has the largest seizure history in Dallas County for 158 kilograms of cocaine. Additionally, he estimates he's located $30 to $40 million worth of narcotics in Dallas County alone. Despite being deployed multiple times, he has never had his partner apply a bite to anyone in this county. So that's kind of a big thing as far as liability wise. It's a great thing for us in the city. Officer safety and compliance is what I referred to. Police canines are routinely used to search buildings before officers enter, locate concealed suspects, tracking fleeing offenders, locate armed individuals, search large outdoor areas, reducing the need for officers to blindly enter hazardous environments. And then, according to the National Library of Medicine and their interdisciplinary review, police canines contribute to officer safety by functioning as force multipliers and reducing unnecessary exposure to dangerous environments while strengthening law enforcement effectiveness, thus lowering, talking about that natural deterrent. Just some more stuff. So National Institute of Justice sponsored one of the largest studies examining police use of force involving more than 3,000 force incidents over a 5-year period. They found that police canines ended confrontations at the first application of force more often than taser or chemical agents. And by first application of force, that's us announcing and then basically using some sort of way of saying like, you know, like we're on taser or we're going to like deploy OC, anything like that. Police canines demonstrated measurable deterrent value. Many suspects surrendered before a bite had even occurred. Canine announcements frequently result in voluntary surrender. Early suspect compliance can reduce prolonged physical struggles. Rapid resolution of confrontations may reduce risks to officers. And it also concluded that police canines were highly effective at rapidly ending dangerous confrontations. So if we have those people that are, you know, that we have had fights with or anything like that, a canine on scene or with us drastically will drop that level. Also, the National Library of Medicine concluded the following: that canine teams enhance proactive policing strategies that have consistently demonstrated crime reduction, including hotspot policing, fugitive apprehension, drug interdiction, search warrant services, and violent offender enforcement. So big community benefits is definitely being able to go into the schools, safer schools, doing those drug sniffs, kind of act as a natural deterrent that way as well. I tried to find a lot of any sort of like case study, anything they did with canines in schools, and unfortunately there just really isn't anything there. I can tell you in my experience, and I just going to high school and stuff like that, I know kids have talked about it, and if there's a canine present, a lot of times it will deter a lot of that stuff. Faster suspect apprehension, like I touched on. Public demonstrations would be great too. Groot is trained on that. So being able to bring that dog in and put on a community event and show people what Groot can do, what he can't do, and engaging the community with being able to have a relationship with Groot as well. He'll let you come up, pet you, he'll walk you to your car, walk you anywhere you want to go. And like I said, it's a stronger, dangerous contraband deterrence. So keeping drugs and guns off the street. Kind of wanted to touch on this because our numbers have changed. We had some stuff that actually kind of reduced some costs and had some great people step up and help us out. So one-time costs obviously is going to be the canine, the handler training, and that vehicle equipment. When I talked to you guys a few months back, the canine vehicle modification was originally at like $12,900. Carl Emergency stepped up to the plate and they actually dropped it by about $2,500. So it's at $10,597 now. The dog is still the same, $12,500. The handler training, $7,500. Equipment gear, a bite suit is what we've talked about, is just being able to routinely keep Groot up on training. That cost retail wise is $1,599. That's before any law enforcement and stuff that they would help us out with. The veterinary medical, I touched on this. We have the veterinary clinic up on Willis. We have an agreement with them, which is really awesome. They've basically told us that all of our routine shots and everything that Groot will need are completely free. If Groot ever gets sick, if he gets injured or anything like that, all we would have to do is pay for the cost of the medicines. So we wouldn't have to pay like a vet visit, anything like that. It's just their cost of the medicine. So annual food, I put in there $1,500, but I was going to modify this, but just to show you that average cost of it would probably be about $1,500. But Trace, pictured there, has stepped up and he's kind of guaranteed us some coupons for food whenever we need it. It's sponsored by Purina, so anytime Groot needs food or anything like that, he gives us a coupon, we get a free bag of food. So officer wages, federally, we're required to pay the officer extra as far as downtime for the canine and the handler. So that is going to be some extra wages annually for an officer to be able to handle the dog for that mandatory officer and canine downtime. Grooming and boarding, Christy over at POSPA also gave us a really good rate, and she's talked to us. We can do a 50% off a grooming rate, so make sure that he's presentable to the public and not matted and looking scraggly. So boarding, I thought it was great. She, as long as, if Groot's the only one there, she told me that she would charge us 25 instead of the 40. If there's other dogs there and she has to come, she said that she'd probably just throw that in for us. So if we ever have to board him, if we have a vacation issue or anything like that, we can do that at little to no cost. So there's some stars in there I kind of wanted to go over. So the canine and the training is part of the presentation that Liz put together for me. In that is a letter of intent that we're intending on applying for a grant that would cover the cost of the dog. It would cover $12,000 of the dog. And then there's also a ASPCA grant that would cover the training as well. So that's part of that letter of intent, is that we'd like to apply for that. We've gotten some really good feedback on that, and we're very, very strongly encouraged to put in that letter, and hopefully we can land those grants. So again, I covered the food coupons and then the vet bills as well. So a good one-time cost is that hopefully the Groot and the training could be paid for. So the grant that I was referring to is the Oz grant. The gentleman pictured up there to your right It is the gentleman in the middle there holding the check. He owns and runs Oz Lifting Products. He does 2 grants every year for certain departments or anybody that applies for this grant, and he gives 12,000 to that department to cover the cost of the dog. We've also been looking at through like the association is other grants that Shields does. They do anywhere from 10 to 20,000 towards any vehicle, equipment, canine stuff, wages, stuff like that, that could help us out as well. Vested Interest could provide a bulletproof vest for the canine, the National Police Dog Foundation, and there's many other grants that we're looking at going through through like the Perry Police Officers Association as well. Local businesses that I've kind of laid some groundwork and talked to as well to help us out, and that they'd be willing to kind of help us out with some initial cost as well. As of right now, I could put an asterisk right now that we're looking to secure 19,500. That's with that 12,000 and then the 7,500 for the training. So funding strategies. This is some stuff that I kind of came up with that we could possibly do some fundraising around the town. Is definitely we could look at doing some sort of tiered program, asking people to do like a silver, a gold, a platinum donor, anything like that, and then do like a plaque or something on our PD wall. We've also kind of knocked around the idea of maybe putting that down on the canine statue, just to give people some recognition for helping us out. We're looking at doing like a canine golf tournament, a fun run, looking at different partners within like food or anywhere around town, any of those restaurants or anybody that would be willing to help us out, a fun run or walk. The buy a brick is kind of the same thing that I was talking about. We're looking at maybe buying like a challenge coin and like sticking it up on a wall with their names on it. And then our pancake breakfast this year was actually a really good hit, and it was fun, and we'd love to do more of those, and it could help us out immensely. So our timeline, it jumped up quite a bit. We had a really good offer and a really good kind of, you could call it an offer, I guess, from Trace in Code Blue. We were looking to hopefully send somebody later on, looking maybe it would have been March or so, but he let us know that we've had the opportunity to get Groot and then get somebody in the August 3rd class. So our timeline hopefully would be tomorrow opening up that canine specialty position within the PD, asking for people that are interested. And then the next following week, Jim and I would be conducting interviews and home visits for the potential handler. Hopefully have a selection made by August 1st. And then August 3rd, they would begin training at Code Blue in Minnesota. It's a 10 to 12 week class. And then August 3rd, Canine Groot would be acquired with that officer in Minnesota and begin training with the handler. We'd be looking September 14th to 18th would be the upfit for vehicle 251. Like I touched on last time I was here, we already have potentially 2 canine vehicles. 251 is one of those. It's one of our newest Explorers. It already has the brunt of what we need in the vehicle for itself. It's got the separate air and everything that the canine would need. So October 23rd, I put an asterisk there just because, just in case if it's 10 to 12, that the handler and Groot would be graduated and certified. And then the next day, Groot and the handler would be in service. So. Yeah, it definitely, and put the pedal to the ground So accountability wise, just to show you and just to keep full transparency within the PD, we're required as a handler and as a PD to track any metrics that canine is deployed on, whether that's a sniff, whether that's a warrant, whether anytime that dog is put into use, the handler and the PD will have to track that. So any deployment, any drug find, how much, and that includes what type of drug and how much it locates, any tracks that it's on, building searches, community events, and then we would also put all that together within our council report that Chief Archer started. Those are just the references from like the case studies that I put in there. I think that's it. Yeah.
Mitzi's on board now that you included references.
Right? I know. I even italicized when I had to. I was trying. So, like I said, I know Chief and I have been working pretty hard on this. I've been working on this for over 5 years. I'm trying to get a canine back here. And I think this would do wonders for the city of Perry. Not to mention just having a canine in town that is community friendly and being able to be approached by, members of the community and show what it can do. So I know Liz did a great job of helping me out and put together our resolution, our letter of intent. So I'm sure she probably sent that all out to you. So hopefully.
We also developed a contract with that officer. Whoever gets chosen, they would have to sign a contract that protects the city, protects the investment, and protect, dog as our property as well. So that's something we hadn't had in the past. I don't think there were contracts in the past. It was just kind of a simple memo. So we felt it was important to have that piece in there, and because everybody says they want to be a canine handler, but it's a lot of work. And once they get into it, it's not like, oh, I just want to give up now. So we're putting some teeth into this to make it somebody that's really dedicated. Plus, it helps the city out with our own liabilities and protects our interests.
Do you have to be on the force currently to apply for the canine specialty position?
Yes.
You want to join up?
And Chief, a question I got is the dog is assigned to the officer, just one officer,
Correct.
and they're on call 24 hours perhaps. I don't know, is that how it's gonna work?
Yeah, I mean, we're technically all officers on call 24 hours a day.
But the dog and the officer also call 24.
Yes, to a degree. Yeah, yeah. Like it kind of gets back to if the dog got called out to do a drug sniff on a traffic stop, that's not going to happen because there's just not, even if somebody were to live directly in town here, you don't have time to get the dog ready, get in your car, drive there. You would have to extend the stop more than what you could. So some of that's a little more limited than it used to be. But yes, I mean, obviously, if we needed them for something, that handler would have to come in.
Sergeant Lott, how does that canine unit look? What is it in there specifically for the dog, to make the dog comfortable is what I'm getting at. What does it look like?
In the car?
You didn't show, yeah.
Yeah, so basically should have brought a picture of that. So basically if you imagine the back seat of a car, they can't call it a kennel anymore. It's an enclosure in a sense where it's essentially, if you look at any of our patrol cars, we have a half cage that's basically a plexiglass and it cuts off everything from that wall. It's a steel enclosure that has a food bowl in it, a water bowl, and it has water in it, air access. So it'll take up 2/3 of it. So it'll still have one transport seat. So if that officer does need to transport anybody or anything like that, they have somebody in custody, they can still utilize that seat. It'll have a pop door. So every officer, kind of like my key fob here, the canine handler will have a fob on either his vest, his belt, anything like that, that he can hit a button and the door will pop open and it'll release that dog. Otherwise, the door works exactly like your normal car door. The handler would go in there, dog would wait, put him on his leash or his lead, and then he'd do his work.
These are all SUV.
Yes, yep. So it has to be big enough for now with federal case laws and everything else that there's a lot of mandates. There's a lot of things in place that canine has to have room to be able to get air, to be able to move and not just be secluded. So there's a opening in the middle as well. So if the officer wants to interact with the dog or anything like that, he can open that and interact with him, pet him, all that stuff too.
And Chief, what is the contract of that officer? Is it the lifetime of the dog? Is the lifespan of the dog? The officer is tied to us for the lifespan of the dog?
Lifespan of the dog. Yeah. Now there's some things in there, if things don't work out with that officer, or if they get terminated, or, obviously if they leave, their paybacks and that kind of thing. You guys will be looking at that and have the opportunity to approve that with this resolution. Yep.
Question, how the dog is at the residence of.
Correct.
Has to be in place, residence, so the dog is safe and other people are safe from pet the dog.
Yeah, that's specified in the contract.
Okay.
And then that'll be up to the Sergeant Lot and I to kind of like go to their residence and make sure that they have what they need to keep the dog safe and that kind of thing, yeah.
As of right now, we're requesting like a fenced in yard at the minimum, at least to make sure the dog isn't just let out and just take off. If they're, what we've kind of gone over with Trace, in Code Blue, is that if there is anybody coming over to that house, obviously outside of work, we want the officer to have a good home life balance or homework balance. So if they're inviting people over or anything like that, that dog will have its own kennel area to be at just in case. So that way we're mitigating any sort of liability that way. So it'll have its own enclosure within the residence or outside that could be built. And it has to, if it's, the officer choose to do that, then they'd have to have a good cement floor, fenced in area for the dog to be.
Sergeant Lott, is there a requirement where that officer must live?
As of right now, no. And the reason being is because just speaking with every other agency that's near us and just the way that today's society is, having a residency requirement is very, very difficult for anybody to commit to. And just getting an officer to commit 8 to 10 years of service to, you know, to do that.
So are you guys, let's say if you guys picked a guy that was 30 miles away, right? That's not gonna work for us, right? Will it?
So it will, and it goes back to having that good work-life balance. So right now we work a 6-on, 3-off rotation. So while the officer and the handler and the canine are in service, they are in the city. So they'll be traveling majority, I think the furthest officer we have that lives away right now is about 20 to 25 minutes. And then, so the response time would be that kind of 14 hours, that half hour that they're going to be on their way here. What we've kind of talked about to mitigate overtime costs, callback rates, everything else is that if that officer and that handler, if that canine and that handler is off duty, then we're going to do everything in our power that we go back to kind of what we're doing now for those 3 days is, hey, is there anybody close? If not, okay, you know, we kind of get to the point where it's not there, it's not there. You know what I mean? So we want to mitigate that down, but also give the handler and the canine their downtime as well. Just because if you work a dog and a handler, they're just going to get burned out. And that's just something we want to mitigate. We want
You've already covered tonight. We've been share the dog with other jurisdictions.
So the only time that we would be that is if it was routinely close. Kind of like how Boone County's helped us out and everything else. If there's something up just outside of the city that we can assist with, we would provide that. But if it's something that we're driving 45 minutes, an hour away, that's going to be up to, it has to be a pretty emergent situation. And then Chief Archer and I would have to approve that. So as of right now, we're going to stick pretty local, maybe assisting, maybe Boone, Guthrie out in like, maybe furthest would be Woodward, Dallas, or Dawson. Yep. Yep.
All right, first, I just want to say, I think this is great. I think you guys have done a great job with this. I really like it. It's good for the community. Clarification. Contract for the officer, is that the lifetime, the working lifetime of the dog or the actual lifetime of the dog?
So in the contract, it states that basically you're signing a contract as a canine handler that you are going to remain with the city of Perry, employed by the Perry Police Department for the service life of that canine. Even after the canine is retired, that canine is still property of the city of Perry unless they go through a adoption. And then at the end of that, if the officer wants to adopt said canine, it would have to be approved by you all for that handler to adopt.
Okay. And then is there any kind of retirement for canine? Like, how does that work? We don't just, yeah.
Yeah. So average, yeah. So on average, like a lifespan of a canine in service is usually about 8 to 10 years, depending on the breed. German Shepherds are usually about 8. Malinois is usually on the 10 because they're a little smaller, high strung. Dutch Shepherds have that kind of nice 8 to 10 range. Once we kind of get to that like 6, 7, 8 year mark, then that's when like the routine vet stuff come into play. Whereas when a vet tells us, says, hey, we might be getting to the end, then it's kind of like, okay, how much time are we looking at? And then he would go basically 1042. And then it would be 42 is basically they're out of service. So he'd be out of service, and then canine 1 would not be.
How old is this dog that we're getting?
He'd be 2.
He's 2.
Yes.
He'll be 2.
Yep, he'll be 2.
which has a little bit of benefit for the fact that the dog is already trained. So Trace already uses this dog to help train other canine handlers and other dogs. If we were to get a brand new dog, they would have to get one from over in Europe. We'd have to pay for tariffs to bring the dog in. And it's gonna be a younger dog that needs to grow into that working style. So we felt that a little older, but it's gonna cut down on the training by quite a lot. So, and we felt that we'll have a dog ready to go right away. Not have to wait.
Dog's personality.
That was great, or Trace has been awesome. And just in speaking with him, he's always reaching out to me and talking to me and Chief Archer. And he's told us Groot interacts with his children all the time. He interacts with everybody that comes for training, the families, everything like that. So,
Other dog.
yeah, yep. He said he's the type of dog that if he has to bite, he'll bite. And then at the end of the day, he knows it's all business. He'll walk that person to anywhere he needs to go. He'll lick their hand before they leave, make sure that they're okay. Like he's very, yeah, got a great temperament.
On your research.
I wanted to be as prepared as I could.
So we'll actually have two police vehicles on staff to transport the dog if needed, or
Just one.
Just
So one will be fully outfit for a canine. We have two vehicles right now that could be outfit for a canine, but we're just gonna be outfitting one. Yeah. And that vehicle would go to Groot and the handler.
question that comes to mind is the officer that's handling the canine. Will he be able to get a advance in status like a sergeant? Will he be able to be a sergeant, or he'll just be a canine handler for it?
Yep. So as far as promotions, anything like that, that would still go through us opening a position. They'd still have to apply and everything like that. It doesn't like fast track them for anything. It's kind of what we call a specialty position, like our school resource officer, detective, stuff like that. Yep.
Good, I think, appreciate it, sir. And another thing, just to, before you said, a lot of dogs, people don't want them.
Mhm.
So you're saying that the public can come up and say, hey, boo, how you doing?
Yeah. So as long as,
Are you gonna allow that?
the only caveat to that is that the handler would have to prep Groot for that. Because when the handler is getting Groot ready to work, it's changing a mindset.
Right.
Hey, it's time to work. So if we're doing any sort of community event, or we know we're going to be interacting, the handler would have to prep Groot for that, just to say, hey, we're not working, we're okay, kind of thing. Yes. Yeah, it's not going to be, I'm sure some of you remember back in the day. I remember back in the day growing up and like walking by the police car and just constantly barking, going crazy at the car. Like, he won't do that. Yeah. He's told me he won't do that. So, yeah.
We're gonna bring them in, we're gonna swear them in too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. We got to get him a badge and everything. So
Yeah,
hopefully K9 ones.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate the work that you put in,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Thank
the
you.
presentation, it was really interesting.
Look
Thank
forward to it.
Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, thank you. We'll move to old business. So item A is a resolution approving requests for grant funding for a K9 and officer training and authorizing related K9 program expenses. So again, there's two grants, one for 12,000, one for 7,500, and then using the funds that were approved in the 2027 budget, around 15,000 to do the retrofit. That motion, please.
I move that we approve request for grant funding for K9 and officer training and authorizing related K9 program.
You need further discussion?
I'll just add one thing. Hopefully I prepped both Chief and Sergeant Lot well with the questions. Did I?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Very much.
A lot of what we've talked about fundraising wise has been kind of balancing a one-time expense fundraising effort with a kind of multi-year fundraising effort, so that alleviates costs on the general fund in keeping this program going. So a lot of those annual events, or the I think even the the first poster is a multi-year kind of pledge to fund this program. So that's something that we've been discussing quite a lot as well, so that it does not, impact or draw from the general fund with everything else. So.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Danworth,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Smaller,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes,
Okay, item B is the resolution approving the form of contract for the K-9 Officer Services Agreement. It was included in the package. Hopefully you've had a chance to do it. Do I have a motion, please?
Pass the resolution.
I'll second.
The discussion on that?
Just to note that that does leave the assignment of the K-9 officer at the discretion.
When will we know that, officer, officer chosen? You bring that back to us and let us know?
Yeah, sure. Next 2 weeks.
So everything in the original, or the last resolution, that's why we have the dates in there. Starting on August 3rd, being that we have this agreement, because they will actually be leaving before you guys meet again, because they're first stage.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes,
Shelley,
Yes.
Smaller,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, item C is a resolution approving a professional services agreement with Bolton and Mink for the Sumas Avenue improvements. This is to oversee the RISE grant that we are getting out there, and the amount will not exceed $400,000 without prior approval. So can I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we pass resolution approving a professional services agreement with Bolton and Mink for the Sumas Avenue improvements.
And I'll second that.
Discussion.
So just like pretty much every project we do, we have our design contract, and this is the construction contract. So I assume for the last 20 days, it's just been for free pro bono since it's not been under contract. Is that right, Jacob? So obviously with this, getting awarded and everything else going on, we're able to get the project started before the contract to watch them work on the project. So.
Roll call.
Smaller.
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
yes,
Andor.
Okay, item B is a resolution accepting grant agreement with the FAA for the 1,500-foot parallel taxiway extension improvements project. It's for an amount of $1,510,500, which includes a local share of 5%, being $79,500. So I have a motion to approve that.
I make a motion, we approve resolution accepting grant agreement from the FAA for the 1,500-foot parallel taxiway extension improvements.
And I'll second.
Discussion.
Hey, this is Garrett Jacobs of Bolton and Mink. Yep, we talked about it before, but last grant in a series of several for the last section of the parallel taxiway. So we are, once this is all the way signed, it's fully executed, we are able to move forward with offering a contract to the contractor, and proceeding forward with construction, submittals, store materials, all that good stuff. So this one came in a lot sooner than your normal discretionary grants do.
Does that mean we're going to try to start a little earlier and maybe?
So because we didn't know when to expect it and they have typically been late contractually, we have 2027 the spring. But that could be discussed, but we don't want to create as an environment where bidders may have bid differently if they would have had it in 2026. So there's some things to think through before we consider that, but it is a potential possibility.
We're thinking maybe cost savings and not having to remobilize concrete plants and those kind of things. So-
Yeah, and it's so that section of the runway, or sorry, that section of the taxiway it's not enough paving to warrant a batch plant per the contractors I've talked to. We would expect it to come out of batch plant or a ready mix plant if it is next spring. But there may be, I don't know who the subs are. The prime on this is PCI, the one of the subcontractors for earthwork and grading on the current project. I'm assuming that their sub is CTI, the prime on the current project. But I don't know for sure. So they may have some agreement if they are partners to keep that plant there. But they're well aware that it was written for next spring. So if you know, it'll come down to contractually what we are able to do. But again, because this is typically so late in the year when we receive these, usually there's not enough time to get a contract in place, have a pre-con, get materials ordered, and then begin and end construction in a reasonable time frame. But again, it can be discussed as we move forward.
Also, on a project of this scale, we'd want to be careful of having two contractors working on the airfield on the same type or scope of project at the same time, but since the prime for the extension is a sub for the other and possibly vice versa or flip flop, like that could be easier than other situations, but that's
Correct.
also something I'm sure Garrett would consider.
Yep, correct. If it was somebody else, it would be, I think, a totally different story.
Yep.
Anything else? Roll call?
Klein,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Smaller.
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay, item E is the approval of pay application number 3 for the parallel taxiway reconstruction in the amount of $107,656.27 to Concrete Technologies, Inc. And it has been signed off by the engineer and recommended for approval. A motion.
I move that we approve the application number 3 for parallel taxiway reconstruction.
I'll second that.
Any discussion required on that one? Okay, roll call?
Andor,
Yes.
Walling,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Smaller,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Okay, item F is resolution authorizing the signing and acceptance of a community development block grant, CDBG, for housing roofing program. It's to re-roof 6 houses in town at the cost not to exceed $198,000. The city's share would be $999 per unit or $5,994. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we pass a resolution authorizing the signing and acceptance of a development.
I'll second that.
We need any discussion?
This
This is a
is
pretty
the
good
one that-
presentation from
It's great.
Carla a while ago.
It's great to get this grant.
Yes.
Have the lottery for the 6 that get the opportunity. So
Yes.
could I have roll call, please?
Walling,
Yes.
Smaller,
Yes.
Stelling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to new business. Resolution consenting to assignment of development agreement and tax increment payments. So this would be transferring the Simplifies Commercial Solutions LLC development agreement and TIF deal to 141 Properties LLC. Basically, project is it's going to be built by a different company than originally applied for it. It also extends the date on that agreement to allow them to get it completed in time. So could I have a motion, please?
Make a motion, we pass resolution consenting to assignment of development agreement and tax increment payments.
I'll second.
Discussion.
So also, we were able to get a conceptual or draft site plan of what they're thinking now. It's actually going to be the same building in phase 1, just possibly configured a little bit differently and some different construction towards the 141 or north side of the lot. I think the 3 main points of this development agreement the assignment to a new builder developer. The addition of 1 year for completion, which then kind of pushes out all of those future dates for certifications and payments, things like that. And then in the original development agreements with Semper Fi, there was the $24,000 grant at closing when Semper Fi purchased the property from the city. That $24,000 will be passed along through to the new developer, either in cash or with some of the pre-development work that was done. So I just want to make sure that those were the three main points discussed and that the $24,000 grant was passed through to the assignee.
So there's 3 documents within it, the assignment and assumption agreement, and then you'll have your third amended development agreement, then a new minimum.
Anything else? Okay, roll call, please.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Wally,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, on to item B is a resolution adopting the City of Perry Emergency Operations Plans. This is dovetailed into the Dallas County Emergency Management Plan. And it's required due to Iowa Code number section 27.550. And it's in the packet that could have been reviewed. So motion, please.
Motion to move forward. And I'll second.
Discussion.
Rely on Julie for some of my language. Not very often do you find a.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that it is confidential, so the public was not allowed to review that because we don't want people knowing what our plans are ahead of us actually having to perform them. But the council did get it and was able to review it ahead of time. Thank you, Liz, for that. Further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Walling,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, the final new business, resolution approving addition to the fire department. Fire Chief Hill has requested that we approve Mr. Michael Bennett for position on the force. He works for the Public Works Department and his boss, Josh, has stated that he's perfectly happy with him doing that job and supports it. So I have a motion, please.
Motion approved, move forward. Item C, resolution approving addition to the fire department.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
This the fourth Public Works employee that will be a fire department member?
Yes, it is.
So
4 people. So, which is something I'm totally in favor of, to be honest with you. Small town.
Well, they're in town.
They're in town and they're working during this. If my house is on fire, I want people there. And I think it's a good trade-off for a car accident or whatever, because, you know, a lot of the fire department members and stuff might work out of town or whatever. So it's convenient, I think, and it's helpful for the fire department. So it's never interfered with our job that I can ever remember with something happening. So I'm in full support of this.
Thank you.
In the packet, but Chief Hill on the recommendation did state that the roster was free, so that's a big point.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you to the volunteers.
Okay, roll call, please.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Mahler,
Yes.
Walling. Yes. Andor.
Yes.
Okay, final item on the agenda, second reading with possible third for an ordinance amending chapter 99 sewer service charges. We approved the first reading at the last meeting. It's basically setting up a 4-year period of a 4% increase each year. And were some other rates included with that we talked about the last meeting. So could I have a motion, please, for the second reading?
The motion that we pass the second. 99.
I'll second.
Okay. Do we need any further discussion on this item? Okay. Have roll call then.
Walling,
Yes.
Smaller,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor,
Okay, then I'd entertain a motion to waive the rules and hold the third reading tonight.
I make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? Okay. Roll call, please.
Walling,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Smaller,
Yes.
Andor,
Yes.
Okay, then I'd have a motion for a third reading for an ordinance amending chapter 99 sewer service charges.
I make a motion. Chapter 99.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Walling,
Yes.
Smaller,
Yes.
Shelley,
Yes.
Klein,
Yes.
Andor.
Yes.
Okay, being no further items, we'll adjourn. Thank you.